So let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel.
Hollywood, the glittering heart of showbiz, was left reeling in the wake of one man's sharp tongue, Ricky Gervais. The British comedian, with a penchant for controversy, took center stage and unleashed a verbal onslaught that left woke culture quaking in its boots. With every jab, every joke, Gervais carved a path through the minefield of political correctness, leaving Hollywood's elite scrambling to catch their breath.
A new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right? No, it's very progressive, you know. There are some clubs now where the comedian has to sign a thing saying he won't say anything contentious or he won't say anything that could offend anyone. It's a safe space.
So, you've probably heard the term woke tossed around a lot lately, especially in the world of comedy. But what exactly is woke comedy? It's like your regular stand-up comedy, except it's not that funny. I mean, comedians dive into hot-button topics like race, gender, politics, and all that good stuff, aiming to spark not just laughs but also discussions about important issues. They shouldn't be afraid to tackle tough subjects. They use humor as a tool to shine a light on societal inequalities and injustices. It's like they're saying, hey, let's laugh about this stuff, but also let's think about why it's messed up. But do you know what woke comedians do? They take everything so seriously that they forget they are there to make people laugh. Instead of sharing jokes, they lecture the audience about what's right and wrong with our society. But hey, we are here to talk about Ricky Gervais, so let's talk about the real comedian. How has Ricky Gervais's unapologetic approach to comedy and critique of woke culture sparked debates about free speech and the role of comedy in society? Tell your thoughts in comments below.
But tonight isn't just about the people in front of the camera. In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow.
You see, Gervais doesn't care at all. He throws jokes left and right. In other words, he is a real comedian who isn't afraid to make jokes about big names. In this case, Hollywood superstars. In today's world, where discussing social problems might get you cancelled, Gervais's comedy is nothing but a breath of fresh air. And he is not alone in this war. You've got comedians like Dave Chappelle leading the charge, using their platforms to deliver thought-provoking jokes that make you laugh and ponder at the same time. It's comedy with a conscience, and it's resonating with audiences far and wide. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Safe spaces in comedy clubs. These days, some comedy joints are adopting policies that aim to create a safe space for audience members. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means no jokes that might offend or upset anyone. Sounds peachy, right? But here's the thing. While the intention behind safe spaces is noble, to make everyone feel comfortable and included, it is also a kind of limitation on freedom of speech. And as big as this issue is, it has stirred up a pot of controversy. Which brings us to Ricky Gervais's take on woke comedy and the whole censorship shebang. Known for his no-holds-barred humor, Gervais is not one to shy away from stirring the pot. He's been quite vocal about his disdain for the rise of woke culture, especially when it comes to comedy. Gervais argues that comedy should be a space where anything goes. He's all about pushing boundaries and challenging societal norms through humor. To him, the essence of comedy lies in its ability to tackle taboo topics and make people think, even if it means stepping on a few toes along the way. But here's where things get spicy. Gervais believes that the growing trend of censorship in comedy, whether it's in the form of safe spaces or restrictions on jokes, is killing the art form. He sees it as a threat to free speech and creative expression, and he's not afraid to call it out.
Controversy last time I did it was a Caitlyn Jenner joke, right? Oh, outrage on Twitter the next day. And by outrage, I mean a couple of people going, it was transphobic. It wasn't transphobic in the slightest. It was a joke about a trans person, but the joke had nothing to do with that aspect of her existence. Nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously. Now Caitlyn Jenner, of course. What a year she's had. She became a role model for trans people everywhere, showing great bravery in breaking down barriers and destroying stereotypes. She didn't do a lot for women drivers, but you can't have everything, can you?
In Gervais's eyes, comedy should be a wild, untamed beast, free from the shackles of political correctness. It's about making people laugh, yes, but it's also about challenging perspectives and poking fun at the absurdities of life. Now, let's talk about Gervais's jokes. Oh boy, does he know how to stir up some controversy in the woke community. Take, for example, his infamous Caitlyn Jenner joke at the Golden Globes. When Gervais hosted the award show, he didn't hold back, poking fun at everyone from celebrities to politicians. But it was his quip about Caitlyn Jenner that got people talking. Some found it hilarious, while others labeled it as transphobic and offensive. Gervais, however, defended the joke, arguing that it was fair game because it wasn't meant to attack Jenner's identity but rather to highlight the absurdity of celebrity culture. And that's the thing about Gervais's humor. It's like a double-edged sword. Some people love it for its irreverence and biting wit, while others find it crass and insensitive. But regardless of where you stand, there's no denying that he knows how to get people talking. So, let's circle back to that Caitlyn Jenner joke, shall we? During his opening monologue at the Golden Globes, Gervais quipped, "I've changed, not as much as Bruce Jenner." Cue the gasps and nervous laughter from the audience. The joke sparked a firestorm of controversy, with some accusing Gervais of transphobia and others defending his right to free speech. The man is like a bulldog when it comes to defending these principles, and he's not afraid to sink his teeth into some juicy controversies. Gervais firmly believes that freedom of speech is non-negotiable, especially in the realm of comedy. To him, comedians should have the liberty to joke about anything and everything without fear of censorship or repercussions. It's all about pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo. Gervais isn't just paying lip service to freedom of speech, he's living it. He's unapologetically outspoken, using his platform to tackle taboo topics and challenge woke cultural norms. Not only taboo topics, Gervais's comedy also attacks people who are thought to be out of reach, and some people don't like it.
People come up and they say, "Oh, I was offended by that joke." And, my first reaction is, I don't care. Like, that doesn't mean anything. You're telling me how you feel. What I want to say why. And I'll explain to them. I'm willing to explain to them why the joke isn't offensive.
So, let's dish about Hollywood's reaction to Ricky Gervais's no-holds-barred critiques, shall we? When Gervais takes the stage or tweets up a storm, you can bet your bottom dollar that the entertainment industry is going to have something to say about it. First up, we've got the A-listers and industry bigwigs who either love him or loathe him. Some celebrities applaud Gervais for his fearlessness and biting wit, while others cringe at his controversial jokes and unfiltered commentary. Then, there's the media circus that follows every Gervais scandal. Entertainment news outlets can't get enough of the drama, dissecting his every word and parsing through his tweets like it's the Rosetta Stone. And people like Knowsome are coming to Gervais's aid. Angelo posted, "Woke people are taking the fun out of everything." And hey, the man's got a point. But let's not forget about the everyday people. The fans and critics who weigh in on Gervais's antics with a flurry of hot takes and spicy memes. It's like a virtual gladiator arena, with everyone duking it out in the court of public opinion. Now, let's talk about the great divide between Team Gervais and Team Anti-Gervais. On one side, you've got the die-hard fans who worship at the altar of Gervais, hanging on to his every word like gospel truth. These people see him as a beacon of free speech and unapologetic humor in a sea of political correctness. But on the flip side, you've got the naysayers and detractors who view him as nothing more than a shock jock with a penchant for controversy. These people accuse him of crossing the line with his jokes and perpetuating harmful stereotypes in the name of comedy. Ricky Gervais's unapologetic criticism of woke culture has sent shockwaves through the comedy world and beyond, sparking intense debates about the limits of free speech and the role of comedy in society. But what are the potential consequences of Gervais's bold stance? For starters, his critique could lead to a re-evaluation of woke culture and its impact on comedy. By calling out the trend of censorship and political correctness, Gervais has forced people to question whether the pendulum has swung too far in the direction of sensitivity. Moreover, Gervais's criticism might embolden other comedians to speak out against woke culture and push the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in comedy. This could lead to a resurgence of edgy, irreverent humor that challenges societal norms and provokes thought. On the flip side, Gervais's remarks could deepen the divide between those who support woke culture and those who oppose it. His blunt critique may alienate some fans and fellow comedians who view him as unwoke. But Gervais doesn't care at all. Overall, the impact of Gervais's criticism on woke culture remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, it's ignited a fiery debate that shows no signs of fizzling out anytime soon. Comedians have long played a pivotal role in challenging societal norms and fostering dialogue on difficult topics, and Ricky Gervais is no exception. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insider buzz.